I'm Poppy, and my favourite position is reverse cowgirl.
I'm Rabina, and my favourite position is doggy with a bit of catty and a tiny bit of monkey.
Sounds like a very illegal orgy there. We are the hosts of a podcast called Brown Girls Do It Too, all about sex and relationships.
Yes, and in 2020, our podcast won a major award. We were granted the British Podcast Awards Podcast of the Year. Yeah, it was really good. And then in 2021, the Asian Media Awards gave us their Podcast of the Year. So you know what they say, when the white people approve, the brown people, they come a-running. So, Poppy, tell this wonderful audience here this afternoon why we even did this podcast.
Because you and I had a fucking great time.
We did, we loved it.
We loved it. We just laughed all the time. But the truth is this. We didn't really see Asian women in the media talking about sex in, frankly, the disgusting way that we did. And whenever you did see brown women in the media, they were either reading the news about the Taliban or playing the wife of the Taliban. So when the opportunity came to bring our show live on stage, we thought, let's grab it by the pussy.
Ouch. Or maybe, ooh.
I think a bit of it.
Yeah.
And look, in the process of doing this show, we've learned so much about each other and ourselves. But it's also raised a few questions, like, what does it mean to be brown? And can we ever completely be ourselves?
And this is really interesting to us because so much of ourselves we keep secret, right? Like anything we do at home which has an 18+ content warning, we all do alone, right? All right?
Why do you think we wore sunglasses in all of our thumbnails? Not this one, but we do have sunglasses every single photo. Plausible deniability.
And that's why we're trusting you this afternoon not to report us to the network. And I'm not talking about the BBC Asian network because they already know.
We're talking about the other network, the Asian Aunties Network. Remember, snitches get stitches.
So none of you better dob us in to the Coconut Crimes hotline.
If you'd like to listen to music whilst you wait, the options are 1 for Shah Rukh and Kajol classics, option 2 for new school Bollywood, and option 3 for generic elevator music.
Hello and welcome to the Coconut Crime Hotline. Here to pass judgment on all your coconut violations. No coconut crime is too big or small for us. How can we help?
So I feel like a bit of a snitch for doing this, but my friend watches porn.
Watching porn is not a violation of the Coconut Crime Handbook.
No, that's not it. When my friend watches porn, she only wanks to white people.
Doesn't everyone? No? Okay. In order to understand the nature of the coconut crime, I'll need a bit more information, please.
So the other day, she was scrolling through and she saw brown people in the gangbang tab. She felt disgusted.
At the gang banging, or the fact that it was brown people banging the gang?
The fact that it was brown people.
Okay. And on this particular occasion, who was the gangbang captain?
What?
The de facto leader of the gangbang. The one who was responsible for the macro choreography, the ebb and flow of the action.
I don't understand.
Okay, madam. In order to properly ascertain the degree to which your friend's disgust can be prosecuted under the Coconut Crime Acts of 1843, 1947, and 1975, I will need the answers to these questions, please.
I don't know who the captain is or how to find out.
Okay. What will happen now is I will consult with my colleague, I'll give you a crime reference number, and we'll make a judgment shortly. Yeah, I mean, it feels like a pretty easy one, that one, right? White people, they're the easiest people to come to.
Amen to that. I've had so many wanks over Kiana.
Yeah, and let's face it, if you were growing up in the 90s, the best you could hope for was an ethnic minority character on a late-night Channel 5 film. Or if Eurotrash were having a slow week, they might stick on an Asian story.
It's not a coconut crime.
Not a coconut crime. Thanks, mate.
One quick thing though, mate. It's crime reference.
Crime reference.
Yeah, more Slumdog Millionaire, less goodness gracious me.
Crime reference. Wicked. Thank you. Madam, I'll have consulted with my colleague and we've decided based on the facts this is in fact not a coconut crime. In order to appeal this decision, you must email the Coconut Crime HQ in Delhi and quote this crime reference number. 1207. Thank you for calling Coconut Crimes, policing the white in everyone.
Welcome to the Coconut Crimes Hotline, here to incarcerate, and if you're lucky, here to interrogate as well. How can I help?
So I've just started seeing someone, and I think I'm in love.
How wonderful.
He's white.
Oh.
I know. But the thing is, I'm really close with all my cousins, but they've started to call me a race traitor. Am I?
We'll need all the facts before we can make our decision. Tell us more.
Okay, so the other day we were in a Mexican restaurant, and Richard doesn't like spicy food. And I wasn't eating spicy food either because I have IBS. Anyway, my cousins were like, "You're such a race traitor and a coconut. You're turning your back on who you are." And then they started to harass Richard like, "Oi, why turn our cousin to a pussy white person like you?" Anyway, it was really embarrassing, and I've been thinking, am I a coconut?
Well, betraying your race is, of course, the highest of coconut crimes. So potentially the consequences could be quite serious.
Well, I wouldn't say
diluting your culture,
Huh?
literally colonizing yourself, turning your back against your own mother. Which is why I'll need to consult with my colleague. Are you okay to hold for a few minutes?
Yes, of course.
Luckily for you, we've upgraded your hold music options recently, which is nice. Do make a choice. OMG, we've got a confession, a possible race traitor, and she's turning herself in.
I don't know. That one sounded complicated. She sounds like she's in love, and you can't help who you fall in love with.
That's why you call us. We can help who you fall in love with. Brown to brown is in the handbook, and matching shades where possible. This is a black and white issue. Brown and white.
I don't know. I think it's more important how you feel. You, what's your name? Yes, you. Jennifer, yes. What do you think? Is she a race traitor? No, see, she thinks
I don't give
love.
a fuck what Jennifer thinks. Hello, madam. Thank you for your patience. I'm afraid, given the facts of the case, you are a coconut criminal, most wanted. I have downloaded the blueprint of your location. I know where you are. If you run, I will look for you. I'll find you, and I will... She hung up.
Hello and welcome to Coconut Crimes. These calls are recorded for monitoring and then more monitoring purposes. How can we help?
Hello? Yes, I'm just calling from the Cineworld in Hull, where I'm on a date. I'll need to be quick. I think he's pretending to be browner than he is.
Ah, okay. This is potentially a case of the inside-out coconut. The so-called YCR, the yogurt-coated raisin. It's extremely serious. What else can you tell me?
Well, we've only gone on 5 dates, but I'm already noticing things. He says he likes the things that I like Bollywood and Kathak dancing and Indian hip-hop and Bhangra. But when I ask him about them, he doesn't even know the most basic information.
Does he know that Aishwarya Rai is married to Abhishek Bachchan?
No.
Madam, this is very easy. Straight to Code Brown. Is the criminal within earshot?
No, he's doing a boomerang by a cardboard cutout of The Rock.
Of course he is. How very basic. We are going to dispatch a special unit over to your geolocation. I have downloaded the blueprint of the Cineworld Hull. There should be a corridor to your left. Tell him you need to get better phone reception. Then head to the designated safe spot. The disabled toilet with the leaky tap next to the stall holder does the very nice sweet corn snacks. The helicopter is on its way.
Wait, you're not going to hurt him, are you?
When you get to that safe location, you'll be rehoused in a whiteness protection scheme.
Wait, what? Raj! Get away from The Rock, you all there! Put the popcorn down! It's the door to your left! I'm sorry I snitched on you, mate! Raj! Raj! Oh, fuck! Raj, you right there, mate?
Yeah, Raj is dead.
Raj is dead as fuck.
But I mean, the truth is, we've all been Raj, right? There's all performance parts of your identity that you do. Like, just the other day, Poppy was singing a Bollywood song, right? And she gave me those eyes like, come on, we're going to bond, sing with me. And I was like, yeah, I really want to. I just don't know that song. But I didn't have the courage to tell her that, so I just ended up being like...
She did, but I did notice because I was too busy listening to my spectacular singing voice. But look, the truth is you can't win because we're told that we're too white or that we're not brown enough, which is why we loved doing our podcast because it just let us be us.
But the truth is, after series 1 of the podcast, we were incredibly embarrassed about it, right? Like, we didn't tell anyone that we did it. And we actually did wear sunglasses in every single thumbnail because, all brown people look the same.
We do. I'm joking, we don't. But look, the truth is, the universal truth about sex is that it's seen as lowbrow, it's seen as trashy, not just for brown people, but for everybody.
And we found this amazing power in talking about sex, because sex is like the most intimate part of yourself. And once we spoke about that, everything else was on the table. We broke down boundaries really quickly.
And look, our podcast, if you haven't heard it, is about so much more than sex. And it's actually through the prism of sex that we talk about our relationship with our brown bodies, we talk about our mothers, we talk about daddy issues, we talk about toxic aunties, we talk about the brown men in our community, and of course, we do talk about fanny farts.
We do. What's been really cool is to see the ripple effect of the podcast, right? We've had like many women contacting us, telling us crazy stuff like, I'm now comfortable with my Desi body, I can look my partner in the eye, I feel empowered by your words.
We did receive incredible messages of love and support from women, but we will leave you, TEDx London, with a message from a brown boy who slid into my DMs just the other day, not with a dick pic, but with this message. I listened to some episodes from season 2 while I was at work, and I recall an episode where you were chatting about rimming. My wife is a Bangladeshi Muslim, and our sex life was pretty conservative, to say the least. A few weeks ago, I built up the courage and rimmed her. She absolutely loves it and can't get enough of it. Neither can I. I just wanted to thank you for talking about such things. It certainly improved our sex lives.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, if that's not a public service, we don't know what is.